Yo, what's good, AP Reacts? We back with another vid. Today we'll be reacting to one Anti-Manosphere versus 20 Manosphere featuring Mark Manson. I don't know who the hell that is, but we gonna see, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I want to normalize too is like people should be listening to anybody who speaks with conviction, but I'm like you gotta check people's background, like not background like what they did for work, but just like they human interaction experiences, like, you know, because I just feel like who gives you people's opinion to talk about this stuff. But whatever, we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna save my opinion for the video, but we ain't gonna watch the whole thing. Obviously it's about an hour, something. We're gonna probably watch like 15-20 minutes maybe, you know. And yeah, we're gonna get right into it. Let's do it. Oh,
and their message.
Sorry.
What has become popularized as the manosphere define their message around anti-feminism. Women are ruining culture and society.
Well, feminism is ruining culture and society. You're kind of
is, but let's let it continue.
Maxed right now for your age group. Like,
thank you.
There's many men in the manosphere that are spreading a 100% positive message. I think we should have 100 more Andrew Tates.
Has feminism held men back, or has the manosphere distorted what masculinity means for an entire generation? I'm John Regalado, and from Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded, where one brave soul faces a room full of disagreeers. Today we are diving into the manosphere, feminism, and what being a high-value man actually means. Our guest today is a best-selling author.
Man, I would murk this shit. I swear to God, I would murk some shit like this. I swear to God, I would murk some shit like this, bro. Give me a topic I know about, I'll murk this shit, I swear.
Who's made a career out of challenging the way men think about themselves. Mark Manson, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Are you ready to debate this circle?
I think so.
All right, manosphere folks, are you ready to get into this? All right, let's get started.
Hi, I'm Mark Manson. I'm the #1 New York Times best-selling author and a former men's dating and relationship coach. And today, I am surrounded by the manosphere.
One thing I learned about taking dating advice from guys is like you gotta look at the way the women interact with them and why they interact with them that way before you take advice from them. Like, you feel me? Like, even for me, my advice could be this and that, but if y'all seen the type of girl or my girl now, like the type of girls I've dealt with or this and that, and I ain't saying I always got baddies or whatever my whole life, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, whatever, but yeah, I think, you know, you should look at a dude's receipts. I think receipts matter. Not 100%, but 60 to 80% of the time, a dude's receipts matter when it comes to giving advice about dating. But let's get it.
My first surrounded claim is that the manosphere is a billion-dollar business that profits off keeping men angry and insecure.
And like I said, I have to pause it a lot just because of copyright. Because if I don't, they'll say I'm just reposting another video basically for, you know. So I got to talk. But the manosphere is a billion-dollar industry that keeps profiting me angry and scared. Not necessarily. I definitely disagree with that. I mean, hold on, sorry, somebody walking up. But yeah, I definitely disagree with that because sorry, hold up, somebody walking up. But yeah, I disagree with that because, yeah, like, I mean, it'd be different if the stuff that the manosphere, and again, I don't agree with everything that the manosphere says. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying, a lot of stuff, you know, I can't think of all of it now, but to sit there and say that nothing that they say is valid, nothing that they say actually is valid, you know what I'm saying, I think that's just disingenuous because, I mean, I can see if you don't agree with all of it, but to say that there's no pieces and parts of it that make valid sense, that don't make sense. And it especially pissed me off when it be the dude saying it. I'm just like, bro, this affects you, my nigga, because if a girl doesn't know you, she's categorizing you as a general male that is not worth respect. So you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, if she knows you, maybe different, but if she don't know you, she's generalizing you and categorize you as someone who don't deserve respect in modern times. So it's just like you going against that is kind of basically saying I'm cool and not being respected, and it's just like that just don't even sound right. But let's get into it.
Debate this claim. Please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
hey, it's good to meet you.
What's up, man?
Jake.
Nice to meet you.
So I think it's important to ask first, what do you mean by the manosphere?
I would say it is the subculture of men's dating and life advice that is particularly identifiable by its sexist and traditional beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, feels a little bit no true Scotsman-y. If you define the category as being sexist, then from the category moving out from there, we're going to have a problem. Because I'm not a sexist. And so if you want to say that, like, if you're in the manosphere, that means you're sexist, or no true member of the manosphere isn't sexist, like, that's not a productive...
So how do you define it?
I think the manosphere are people who focus heavily on men's issues and are trying to instruct men on how to lead better lives, who are trying to fulfill a role that maybe a father should have or maybe can't because of a variety of societal environments. And they might do that well, they might do that poorly. And I think the discussion is about how well the sort of figures that are gaining popularity are doing that.
Right.
And maybe some of them might be sexist and some of them might be telling true things. And there's kind of...
I was just about to say, I would say I can see, like, my thing with the manosphere is, like, if you only watch clips, you'll never fully grasp, like, what's really going on. Because if you just look at Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, any other red pill content, like, if you see clips, it comes off as, like, oh, they just hate, or they just trying to grift, or they just trying to whatever. But it's like, I can see women not understanding, right? Because they don't walk in our shoes. They don't know what they'll never know what it's like until they get older, and then even then they'll still never 100% know what it's like socially and dating as a man, and how much you gotta overachieve to get respect. You feel me? But the dudes, I just feel like y'all are disingenuous, because it's just like, my nigga, like, and I can get if you never thought about it, but anyway. Yeah, some people be out there grifting. Like, I don't agree with all the stuff Fresh and Fit say. Like, I really fuck with them. But, like, the monkey thing, calling girls monkeys and bitches all the time. Like, okay, some of that stuff is a little OD. Like, you feel me? You ain't got to do that. That comes off as hate. Because why you got to say bitch every 5 seconds? Like, you know what I'm saying? But, so I do agree. A lot of them misrepresent. But I just felt like, if you haven't watched full content, like hours, 30-minute full podcast like I have, like, or anybody else has, you're not going to really understand and respect where they're trying to come from. Because if you just watch 15, 7-minute clip, you know what I'm saying? You can clip anybody and make anybody look bad. I don't care who it is. So, I just think people like him, I guarantee you he hasn't watched, like, hour-long videos of Andrew Tate, or hour-long videos of a Fresh and Fit podcast. Or I can almost guarantee you haven't. I guarantee it.
A variety of mixed bags on this, but before I move on, does that seem like a reasonable starting point for what the manosphere is?
That would be a broader definition than I would give to it.
Wait, you defined it as sexist, and so obviously much broader. Like,
yes,
I'm not even in your definition, that's not.
And I am in your definition,
right?
So it's. I would say what has become popularized as the manosphere, and maybe my reading is off on this, but it's stuff like the Tate brothers, Myron Gaines, Harrison Sullivan, all the guys featured in the recent documentary that came out, like that kind of brand and flavor of men's advice. And I'll say this too. So back when I was in this industry, and I was giving men advice professionally, there was a pretty clear delineation between the guys who were just genuinely like, hey, let me help you try to get a date, like, let me help you try to make
tough out there.
Yeah, like help you get a raise at work, right? And there was a whole
gym, get stronger.
There was a whole subculture of men who really very much define their message around anti-feminism. Women are ruining culture and society.
Feminism is ruining culture and society. That doesn't mean all women are, but it does mean feminism is. And I think it's an issue to conflate the idea of like, oh, women versus the philosophy of feminism. Because you could have male feminists who I think are often more destructive for culture than female feminists are. Right. And you could have women who are not feminists. And so on both ends, I think that's a conflation not to make.
Okay. So my claim specifically is about the men in this space who their primary message towards men
I be wondering like how folks feel like that come up there and they have somebody who they don't even know they exist, and they be checking them on stuff. And I could tell, like, I watched another video with Jordan Peterson, and one dude was like reading him down like a book, and I could tell Jordan Peterson was kind of like he's kind of flustered because you come in there thinking like, oh, I know more than everybody else, I'm authored, I'm published. But just because you published, it doesn't mean that nobody else doesn't know anything. Just maybe you had more of a desire to write a book. You had more connections. You had, you know what I'm saying? A lot more things went your way. You got more exposure, whatever else it could be. It's not necessarily that you just more smarter than everybody. Like, I think that's what any content, like, even people like Streamer You or anything, like, just because they're there doesn't mean it's not, like, people, like, that's not there, that's not potentially more effective or more impactful than them. It's just they haven't got there yet, or they just haven't got the exposure, or don't got the money, or whatever else. So it's like, you know, a lot of the people that's like, I just wonder how he feels like when people come up there and kind of put him on game or kind of, you know, prove his point to be wrong. You know, I know he's not going to admit it on camera that he's wrong, but, you know, he makes some great points. I ain't gonna lie, he making some great points for real.
Is that of anger, that of selfishness, empowerment through intimidation and domination of others.
I think there's a lot of different things there. I think there are a lot of things that you should be angry about.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that you should be a victim. And I think that just because a certain society has decided that the future is female, has decided to instruct men from a very young age, has removed fathers from the home, has used various incentive programs to encourage single motherhood rates, has made it such that boys are told from age 7 that the fundamental way to view history is a patriarchy, and because other men used to be bad, which I think is even debatable a claim on its own, that you therefore are bad as well.
Man, he cooking. This nigga cooking, bro. I ain't gonna lie, he cooking. Nigga blew my hat off. He done blew my fucking hat off. Fuck. But yeah, he cooking, bro. I ain't gonna lie, he cooking. Oh, sorry for the, you know, cuss word. But yeah, he cooking, bro. Cause on God, like, a lot of people try to use the one or two people in the past, the drunken man who came home and beat his wife, and try to put that on all dudes. I just feel like that's kind of weird. Like, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause one dude, or I'm not saying one in human history, but I say one being exaggerative. But like, it basically saying that if you had a percentage, like, that's not like 80% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, majority of the time, most dudes are, you know, decent. Most dudes ain't just out here beating on girls and this and that. You got the small 20-30% that may do that. You feel me? And obviously we don't fuck with that, but they do it. And you know what I'm saying? Same thing with women. You got the loud, gold digging 20-30%. Oh, I just want somebody got money. Da, da, da. You got the other percent who probably like, you know what? I just don't say nothing because I'm outnumbered, but I don't even believe in that. So it's just like, usually the most loudest, unfortunately for both sides, the loudest, most belligerent, or the loudest, most whatever, kind of get the most shine, even though they may be a smaller percentage group, and it kind of unfortunately represents the whole thing on both sides. So, man, but anyway, he cooking though. He cooking. I ain't gonna lie, bro, cooking.
And I think that there's a lot of things that you should be angry about. And if you have a young boy who's going through that, if you have gone through that, these are things you should be angry about. That doesn't mean you should be selfish.
Right.
Same thing, idea of like, you shouldn't intimidate and you shouldn't lead with force. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be a dominating figure. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't lead with a positive, masculine leadership of what that is. It is a dominant. And if you have a young boy who's going through that, if you have gone through that, these are things you should be angry about. That doesn't mean you should be selfish.
Right.
Same thing, idea of like, you shouldn't intimidate and you shouldn't lead with force. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be a dominating figure. And I think the good manosphere figures, I mean, you named a couple of them, whether they're good or bad, I don't want to mention the personal lives of those people, but the message of like, shut up, go to the gym. I'm sorry your life is hard. Right. And you should be angry about that, and you should fight back, but you need to channel that into, you know, talking to that pretty girl anyway.
Yeah.
And being strong anyway.
I want to make...
Nah, he cooking up. I ain't gonna lie, bro, he cooking up. I ain't gonna lie to you, he cooking up.
Points. One is that I think you've just done the same thing with feminism that you accuse me of doing with the manosphere, right? Which is taking some of the most extreme claims and then classifying the entire school of thought based on those extreme claims. We can get into the nuts and bolts
Well, I'm
of that,
taking what's taught in elementary schools.
which is some extreme stuff. And
The extreme manosphere stuff isn't taught in elementary schools.
I understand
The
that.
future is female. You see people wearing that in their elementary schools.
I understand.
Can we agree that's an extreme position?
I do agree with that.
Okay.
So, like, I would agree with you on that probably shouldn't be in an elementary school.
Yeah. Funded by the state.
Yes. The second point, there's the advice and then there's the packaging, right?
Yes.
What you just said, right? Get your life together. Go to the gym. Take care of yourself. Like, work
Amen.
on yourself.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like, these are all great things. My point would be that you can get that advice in 100 other different places without the toxic package.
But that doesn't go viral. People don't see it. The media suppresses it. The environment, if you want to get the message out, you have to go extreme. And I wish we didn't have that. And if we want to talk about how we should restructure the systems of YouTube and everything, that would be great. And I think we're trying to do that now, trying to get this out.
Do you have to go extreme? I mean, like, so I'll give an example of somebody who I do think is a healthy figure in this space, which is Chris Williamson. He has like the 8th biggest podcast in the world right now. Like, he's not extreme. He's not saying all the same shit that like Andrew Tate is saying or Myron Gaines is saying, right? It's like, I have an audience of over 10 million people. I'm not saying any of this shit. I don't think you have to be extreme to get it. And I worry that there's...
But the thing is, he named one person. That's the thing. You know how they say some don't, what is it when it's like, the exception don't make the rule, mom. The exception don't make the rule. So he named Chris Williamson, right? That's one person, bro. One person. Like, you know what I mean? That's one person. How many people are out here trying to talk about this stuff? You feel me? So it's just like, I mean, I agree. I wouldn't go extreme to get my message out there, but I see why other people do it. I see why. I mean, the internet is flooded, bro. The internet is flooded like fuck, so I see why. But I wouldn't do that personally. You feel me? But I can see why they do it, though.
Some good messages are being attached to so many poison pills that a lot of young men don't know how to differentiate between the good advice and the toxic advice.
I agree with that. I think when you're young, like I'm 26, so I'm old enough to know, okay, yeah, that's a little extreme. That's a little, but when you developing this stuff, you know what I'm saying, 13, 14, you don't really know. But at the end of the day, I'm not in control of who see this shit. And at the end of the day, I'm not in control of what decision they make in their life. I'm just a person talking. Now, I can't control how much respect they got for me, don't got for me, you feel me? I mean, I kind of can, but kind of can't. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not, it'd be different if he's going out there and say, you think just like this, you call, da-da-da. He's just saying how he thinks about stuff, and then people just copy it. But he's not saying, y'all, come copy me. You know what I'm saying?
It's leading them down a bad path.
There certainly is some toxic advice out there, but the idea that that's the primary thing that people are learning from these, I don't think that's true. If you're gone down the rabbit hole and you're watching, 6 hours of Myron Gaines and 4 hours of Andrew Tate, and you're watching Clav streams all the time, these people, that's not the majority of people who are involved in the manosphere. Totally. That's not what's happening. The things that you're getting from these people are saying, you know what, maybe you should put more interest in into your look. It's not everything, but obviously your look matters, and maybe you should go to the gym. It's not everything, but obviously the gym matters. All of these messages may be packaged with a more extreme idea to it.
Sure.
But the extremeness is how you go viral. And someone like Chris Williamson and someone like yourself, these are great people, but you guys aren't being the number one talked about person on the internet. You guys aren't changing the fundamental way that people view our culture. And I wish you could, but the internet isn't set up for that.
We're also not doing it because I don't think it helps. So for example, Movember survey from 2025 found that young men who regularly consume manosphere content or masculinity influencers were much more likely to report feelings of worthlessness, extreme sadness, and extreme anxiety.
That's backwards causation. It's the people who are feeling extreme worthlessness are looking for someone to teach them what to do.
No, I'm just trying to read this on the side. The study does note that young men who white man. I mean, I could say that. I could say, like, watching that stuff has made me feel a little down about myself because, they'd be like, if you're, Myron be like, if you're broke, you're dumb, you're worthless, you're a piece, you must be a piece of trash on the side of the street. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it feels like. Or Andrew Tate might say, you're broke, nobody cares about you. Like, stuff like that. Like, that does make me feel like, that my personal sense of human respect is tied to how much money my career is standing. You feel me? Luckily, I'll have a great career, but if it didn't, I'm like, damn, I've been shit out of luck, So I do agree with that.
Don't see that same correlation show up in other self-help genres, though.
Self-help genres don't help almost always. They're almost always feel-good nonsense. If you're told you're good the way you are, you can do whatever you need, you're a magic special person, that's the kind of thing that someone who is looking for that kind of experience.
Right.
The person who is feeling bad needs someone to tell them, yeah, you are feeling bad. And you need to grow up and you need to get strong. And so the correlation
Matrix is holding
backwards.
you down, and it's
well, it is. We just agreed that elementary schools are trying to oppress men at the age of 7.
Is that the Matrix?
The state, funded by the state. Of course, it's the Matrix.
Is this a federal policy to tell 7-year-olds that the future is a woman?
It's in every elementary school. We just agreed on that.
I do not agree it's in every elementary school.
Okay, not every single one.
I agree it's in some, and it's probably the doing of certain far left teachers and educators.
Which begins in the far left universities, which are funded by the state and are structured from the top down to oppress. So the structure isn't natural.
To bring it back to my point,
Yeah.
which is that you just made the point that a lot of self-help advice is bullshit.
Oh, almost all of it.
Garbage, right? Let's take.
I agree with it. That self help, man. I don't like that self help culture, bro. Like, you feel me? I didn't grow up like that. You know, playing sports. In my household, I had an army stepdad. You feel me? My mom, you know, she born in 70, 75. My grandma was born in 55. Like, yeah, they never. You feel me? They never sugarcoat nothing with me. Like, they never were just like, oh, you're amazing how you are, and even if you come in last, you're still first. Like, you know, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up as if you second, you basically lost. You feel me? That's how I was raised. You feel me? And then playing sports is how you taught. And in black community, that's how you taught. Like, if you second or third, especially with dating, oh my God, with dating, you could be the second best nigga in the school, but if you're second, you're basically last. Like, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, and it doesn't help. Like, because it just doesn't. Like, obviously the ideal would be a balance. You know, you don't want the full extreme just beat down to somebody, but you also want the overly just gassing them up every 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not going to help them, because nobody's born a final product. So if you're told you're perfect the way you are, that's cap, because you're not born a complete product. That don't even make sense. You're not born a finished product. So if you're perfect the way you are, then you basically saying you're perfect. I mean, and nobody's born that way. God made everybody with shortcomings, you know, so that way they can improve them. But I mean, yeah, so I agree with that. That self-help shit be bullshit. Like the whole, you know, just believe anything you believe you can do. If you just believe it, you can achieve it. Yeah, you need belief, but you also need resources, connections, a little luck, a little consistency, a little resiliency, a little, you feel me, flexibility. If one way don't work, you gotta go the other way. It's a lot of stuff that's going to succeeding at anything, whether people know it or not. You feel me? So that whole just believe or just be confident, that's all you need. Like, that shit don't work, gang. I ain't gonna lie. You only need to be confident. You only need to believe. That's all you need, bro. Y'all don't study success enough. If that's what you think, y'all don't study success enough. I ain't gonna lie.
The secret, right? Law of attraction stuff. Do you agree that that's kind of ridiculous? Because I do.
Law of attraction, I'm not sure exactly how that works.
It's like if you just believe that you deserve something, the universe will give it to you.
Oh yeah, that's nonsense.
Okay.
But it is the case that you could fake it till you make it, and if you act as though you have it, you might be more likely to get it.
Perfect. So we agree on that. So that's a perfect example of what's actually like kind of a good piece of advice, but then it's packaged in this ridiculous cosmological, like, oh, the universe's energy is going to serve you what you deserve and all this shit, right?
It's almost the health and wealth gospel, which is a violation of the Christian heresy, basically.
But that gets millions of people to start focusing more on their goals and dreams. So my argument is that the manosphere is doing the same thing. It has all of this ideology around the matrix.
So he basically trying to say the manosphere has a good intention, but the way it's packaged kind of comes off in the toxic, misleading way is basically what he's trying to say. He just didn't say it, but that's what he's trying to say.
And the system is oppressing you and you should be angry and all this.
Well, you should be.
So get up and clean your room and go to the gym.
Yes.
So it's good advice packaged in this, like,
but the package that you just said that you should be angry is the correct package, because I'm angry.
Pause there. You've been voted out by the majority.
It's great talking to him. Yeah, I think we agree on.
Nah, he did good. He did excellent. I ain't gonna lie. He did excellent. I fought with him. He did excellent.
Things that it may seem.
Good night. Hey, how are you doing?
Good. What's your view on men right now? Like in 2026, do you believe that the current situation for young men is approximately the same as, 15, 20 years ago? Or
No, it's much worse.
Okay, why would you say that it's worse?
Things have gotten really rough for young men, and I think it is fundamentally structural and economic. It has to do with the technology. It has to do with the nature of the economies changing. And the reason I believe this, and I don't buy it's feminism's fault, is because when you look globally, you look at countries that have not had a large feminist impact, the young men are struggling just as much there, if not more. And if you look at some of the countries that are even more progressive and more feminist than the United States, the men are doing better there than they are doing here. So I don't think it's feminism. I think it's happening at a much more fundamental level than culture.
Yeah, I hear that. And honestly, I agree with you that a lot of these manosphere characters, they use the anti-feminist and anti-woman thing as a kind of, it is a packaging, and it does obviously go viral.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting to me is that we have this conversation of, does the cart come before the horse? Is the manosphere causing men to be angry at women, and that's causing more incel behavior? Or is the society becoming more difficult for men to navigate and creating more incels that are already frustrated, and then they see this content on YouTube saying, you should be doing this and that, and this is really what women think, and that resonates. So what would you say? You're saying that
I would say it's both.
It's both.
I personally believe that the manosphere is the wrong answer to a very legitimate problem, right? The legitimate problem is that young men and boys are struggling. They have fewer role models.
They're not having sex, right?
Right, and they have fewer role models. They have fewer people to look up to. They're getting advice from fewer places. The manosphere is filling.
Yeah, I mean, he right about that. I mean, for me, I just had sex yesterday, but I ain't had sex before that in like a year. You feel me? Granted, I was going through some little work stuff, changing jobs. You feel me? I had working stability, but outside of that, like, I mean, I'm the same person. You know what I'm saying? So. No, he right. Like, it definitely happened. So it happened to the best of us. You feel me? So I ain't above, that. You know what I'm saying? I just saying that. Yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Vacuum, but I believe that it's filling it with a lot of toxic information. There's a whole subreddit called X Red Pill, and if you go through there and read all those guys' stories, like it's
extreme.
Oh
yeah.
And I did not have sex by choice, by the way. It wasn't a choice. I didn't say, I'm going to go a year. No, I was trying to, and it just wasn't happening. Like, so, yeah. So it do be hard out here sometimes.
It's ugly.
So why do you think, genuinely, like, what is you said that there's some systematic change that's happening across, you said globally. So, like, what do you think that is?
My guess is that it's a combination of moving to a more globalized services economy, right? If you actually look at the psychological differences between men and women, right? It's like women tend to be a little bit more pro-social. They tend to be a little bit better at building and connecting and managing relationships. We're in an economy where that is more valuable than ever before, right? If you look at male psychology, right? Men are, I think, 4 times more likely to have ADHD. Men tend to lose interest in things. They have lots of anti-energy. We have so many devices, so many screens bombarding us with distractions all the time. It wouldn't surprise me if young men are more susceptible to that sort of distraction and that dopamine treadmill than young women.
So
Okay, we got to pause there. You've been voted out.
Okay.
It's just getting good.
Yeah.
They ain't even get to say nothing. For real. All right, we're gonna watch probably like 5 more minutes of this, and then we're gonna chop it up.
Whoa.
Hi. Sorry.
You really went for it.
So what do you think is extreme? Like, what are some of the extreme views?
I would say anything that is
Great question.
intentionally demeaning the fundamental value of a woman.
Could you give me an example?
Well, the body count example.
But can you understand how there is a correlation between being willing to take a lot of dick from a lot of different people and not thinking highly of yourself?
Perhaps, I don't know.
So I don't think that you're lowering the quality of a woman by saying, like, hey, just so you know, it's probably not the best thing for you to.
But that could be true for men as well.
Men should not be taking dick from a lot of strangers. I agree. Both genders.
It's true for straight men as well, taking lots of vagina as well. It's generally, low self-esteem correlates very strongly with sexual partners overall.
Totally agree.
Yes.
I think it's worse.
But that doesn't make them worse people.
But the thing is, the argument isn't worse people. It's not, the argument isn't, does it make you a worse person? Like, we gotta understand the difference between human value, like earning potential value, like economic value, and like romantic value. Those are 3 different. You're judged by 3 different metrics, like rubrics. Like, I remember, y'all know when we was in school, we used to have like projects, and you used to have a rubric, right? It's a rubric of like, okay, this is the this is how you're being judged on this. Pictures, can you explain it? Do you have, just you got a rubric, and each category has a different rubric. And for dating, there's an unconscious and a societal rubric. There's a biological and a societal rubric for men. and there's a biological and a societal rubric for women. And the thing is like, the issue is men are forced and told, as they should, to respect the rubric you're being judged by biologically and socially, but telling women that, oh, just forget their rubric and just do whatever you want. And that's the issue, because it's just like, we're both was born with a biological rubric that, that affects if you want to be with somebody. That's just what it is. Like, and, that's the issue. And it's like, he's not saying that they're less human, that they deserve to be smacked around and stuff, but just saying that from a dude who you would respect, that would not make him respect you and want to be with you. So it's just like biologically, because who wants, you feel me, like, because what's gonna stop you from doing that once you get with me? I imagine it's gonna stop when you get to me all of a sudden. So it's just like, it's not about human values, it's about romantical values, like, because romantic has its own rubric, you know what I mean?
Same way, like, somebody with low self-esteem is more likely to abuse alcohol or drugs.
Totally.
Like, doesn't make them a bad person.
But it's not good, and also taking dick is a little bit worse than giving it.
Why?
All right, we got to pause there. You've been voted out. Reminder, we want to stay focused on the prompt, the current prompt. Thank you.
Okay.
Nah, that was funny.
Hi,
What's up, man?
nice to meet you.
How you doing?
What's your name?
Mark.
Mark, my name's Mauro.
Nice to meet you.
God bless you.
Are you familiar with the red pill, blue pill philosophy?
Yes. My understanding of it is that the blue pill is basically what society has taught you. Do what the man tells you, follow the typical 9-to-5 job. And then the red pill is when you wake up and realize that nothing is as it seems, that society's been duping you, and that it's our responsibility as men to, take control of our lives and go back to the...
Is that not true though? Like, is that not true? Is that not true though? Like, is that false? Like, I don't understand. Like, is that not true though? Yeah, you're being duped. Like, they're not preparing you to they're preparing you to basically make exactly what you need. They're not preparing you to society isn't preparing you to have extra. They're preparing you to have just as much, just the amount you need. They're not trying to have you to have extra. Because if you have extra, you're not gonna want to go back and work with them. That's why the check gives you just enough to where you gotta come back and get some more. You feel me? They don't give you enough to leave the job. They always give you enough to be able to come back, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just like a never ending cycle.
Nature intended it. How'd I do?
You did actually pretty great.
Okay.
Do you believe in that?
No.
Not at all?
What?
No.
Not even a little bit?
Crazy.
Look, I believe, like, society's not perfect.
Right.
Society's definitely, like, fucked up.
Okay, yeah. That's true.
But I don't think there's any sort of, like, conspiracy thing going on. As a man, yes, you have to take control of your life. You have to build value for yourself. You have to do something with yourself, right? Like, it's
I believe that.
100% agree with that.
150%.
Yeah. It's what I disagree with is all of the packaging and the philosophy.
No, right on. Actually, I actually agree with that. I think actually like the supposed like manosphere whole ideology actually has been actually hijacked. You know what I mean? With these people like Andrew Tate or Nick Fuentes, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're the epitome of masculinity.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that really represents what a man actually is. You know,
Fuck yeah, dude. Preach.
I mean, I do believe with some of their ideologies, but not entirely. You know what I mean? Like, do I think, men and women are equal? No. Do I believe that they're complementary? Yes, absolutely, for sure. But I just want to tell you also, like, part of the manosphere, philosophy is the red pill, blue pill, and I actually do 50% believe in that. And I do believe in the Matrix, you know what I mean? And you're stuck in this rat race, you know what I mean? And you want to be part of that. And then I've been actually like quote unquote, like red pill. I really take that philosophy to heart.
The thing about the red pill, blue pill, right?
I'm trying to get a little bit of the next prompt they got, and then you feel we're gonna chop it off.
Like, you could look at that as just taking responsibility for your own life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's an idea that's thousands of years old.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the analogy of the cave.
Yeah.
You have these men stuck at the bottom of a pit of a cave.
Yeah.
Just watching pure shadows.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, almost the same as like you're watching the news, you're watching TV.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree, like, the news isn't 100% truthful. And then once you wake up to this illusion, you leave the cave. You leave the cave of deception. And you wake up to actually how the world truly works.
Damn.
And the world
Everybody
definitely works against us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This dominion is not of the Lord. This earth, actually, the devil controls it. And he's the one, actually, I
All
definitely
right,
do believe.
now you lost me.
I know. It's okay.
We were doing really well.
No, it's okay. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I know.
And then
I
you
respect
mentioned,
it.
you mentioned law of attraction. I actually believe in that. I believe in law of attraction, and I believe in manifestation. And I'll just say, like, I have a manifestation example.
Okay.
I was thinking of penny loafers. I was obsessing about them. And I'm not even kidding you. I had a dream of penny loafers. And then I went to my local store and I went to the shoe section and I saw some leather shoes for $20 and my dream told me that. And that's why I'm here. And then I don't know, I just thought that was like an example of a manifestation, law of attraction in action.
I love it, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah,
All right,
cheers,
pause
brother.
there. Did you say penny loafers?
Yes.
Can we get there's some
manifested
killer
penny
penny loafers in the circle if we can get
they're
close
badass.
up
I
to
like his
those.
style. How's it going, Dave?
What's up, man?
Good
All
to
right.
meet you. So when you say a billion-dollar industry, can you give me some examples where they're making money from?
Tate's Hustler University, I think at one point he was bragging that it was making 12, 15 million.
But the thing is, his Hustler University isn't talking about manosphere stuff. It's like, it's not talking about manosphere stuff. It's talking about online drop shipping, sales and stuff. It's not talking about how to be a better red pillar. It's not nothing to do with red pill. Nothing has nothing to do with red pill. It's just the person who made it is a red pill, but the content isn't red pill stuff. It's like actual genuine e-commerce stuff like that. It's just coming from a red pill person. So it's not red pill stuff.
A month. Sports betting, gambling sites are sponsoring a lot of these guys. They're driving like millions of dollars of revenue to them. OnlyFans, like a lot of them manage OnlyFans, so like they'll tell you how like the Matrix is holding you down and how women are, these women are disgusted, and then they will like turn around and promote the OnlyFans girls that they manage to. So it's,
Would you say like online dating courses as well?
online dating courses.
Yeah, like dating courses and anything like online to give you like advice to pick up girls. Is that
Well,
in the manosphere as well?
It depends. I mean, this gets back into like, how do you define the manosphere?
Yeah. Well, you kind of defined, you said OnlyFans, you said sports betting. So now you're just
Sure.
encompassing a bunch of different things that probably has nothing to do
There's
with
a
the actual
lot of
manosphere
different forms
itself.
of monetization.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of different forms.
Mhm.
And again, there's like the manosphere. I think at this point we've probably established there's a spectrum. My issues is primarily with the extreme end.
Okay.
Right.
So extreme is OnlyFans, which I agree on is bad.
Yep.
Gambling, which I agree on is bad.
Okay.
So what else is the extreme it's making too much money where you feel like that's harmful
well,
to society?
I mean, Tate's course.
Okay, with the gambling thing, I don't understand what people have with that. Like, I sports bet, but my thing is, we're not in the old days where, just go outside and cut somebody's grass for $30. Like, bro, like, you got to be effective with your time. If I'm already going to watch the sport, now, if you never watch the sport, you betting on it, I would agree that's ridiculous. If you're trying to bet as like your main source of income and you have no job, no career, nothing, you just trying to bet as your money, I agree. That's kind of, you feel me? As an adult, that's kind of whatever. If you got a family and you putting your life savings down on a bet, that's obviously dumb. That's extreme stuff. But you in college, you working, you need a little extra money, bro. Like, for example, PrizePicks not sponsored, but PrizePicks, right? You gotta hit six out of 6 to win some money, bro. You could put $3 on there and get $75 game. Granted, that's not a lot, but for a college student, $75 is a lot, bro. Like, and what outside of their job, what else are they gonna do to get $75? Like, what the fuck? Like, they could use that $75 to start their business or to add to something they need for their business, but. You feel me? You're just saying, it's all bad. Yeah, if you fucking bet your life savings and you got 4 kids and a fucking wife or something, of course that's bad. But that's extreme. Everybody isn't doing that. You feel me? And that's called personal responsibility. Like, don't blame gambling. Blame that individual that don't have no self-control. Because there's people who use it and do well, like I did. When I was struggling with it when I was in college, that money came in fucking handy, bro. Like, I put a $10. Let's think about. I think that's $10. Let's go to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is like, if you get a meal, $12, $13. So you telling me I put $10 on one, $300, almost like $250, and instead of, you want me to not do that and then go to Chick-fil-A, and then now I spent $13, now I'm broke. I don't have no money. You feel me? And somebody might be like, well, you're not gonna win all the time. Well, I mean, I'm not doing it. It's not my main source of income, so I don't have to win all the time. That's the point. It's not my main job. I have a job. You know what I'm saying? It's not my main source, so I don't have to hit all the time. But I don't. If I'm at a job full time, I don't have time to go physically be all the other places. I'm gonna be burnt out. So it's like I think don't blame gambling. I think blame individual. Now people go to casinos. I don't do that. That's too random. Sports betting is a little less random eats for me, because I watch it and I can pick up on patterns. But if you don't watch no sports, if you just jumping into it to, you feel me, bet like hockey, like I don't watch hockey. So if I bet on hockey, it's kind of a waste of time. I don't know who is who's good, who suck. I don't know anything. I just know what it says on the thing. But basketball, which is what I bet on. I've been watching basketball for 12 plus years. So it's like NBA basketball for 12 plus years. So it's like I kind of got a pattern of how people kind of play and how things kind of go. It was kind of easier to bet on that. You know what I mean? But I mean, now if you're in a casino, like I said, betting your life savings, you got 4 kids and a wife, obviously that's fucking stupid. Duh, who don't fucking know that? I mean, people do it, but that's them. That's not gambling fault. That's their fault. The fuck? Like what?
Actually just taught people how to promote Tate's course and take 50% of the revenue. So I mean, it's by definition a pyramid scheme and an MLM.
So you like went into the course, like you know the courses that are available there?
No, this is just public information.
Okay, so then what specific courses in there is harmful? So you seem to know a lot about if it's making $1 billion.
I've not taken the course.
Okay, so you're kind of just assuming, you're just guessing, right?
I mean, this is just based on things that I've read.
So if someone's taking a course and they're learning just stock trading or trading cryptocurrency or like online marketing, is that bad that they're in that course?
Depends on what the course is teaching them.
Okay. Is it more you just don't like the person that's giving the course?
Well,
you don't like their ideology, but if they're giving
is,
something that's critical for men to learn and make money, you just don't like the vessel it's coming from.
That is.
So if it was coming from you, you'd probably be like, okay, well, you're biased toward yourself. You like the information you get.
Well,
you can teach the
make
same
a
stuff
course
and be
on
good.
Trading shit coins. Like it's both. It's both the content that's being sold and the personality selling.
I told you from the beginning, bro. I said I could tell he don't watch the stuff. He just kind of going off of clips. I knew it the way he talks about it. I'm like, anybody who genuinely watched as a guy, I can't speak for women, but as a guy, if you watch an hour and 30 of the right Andrew Tate video, there's no way you're not gonna say, okay. I mean, I respect all his marketing, how he packages it, like he said, but I respect what he's trying to say. You feel me? And I can pick through and see. I'm an adult, so I can pick through and see. It's extreme, it's not, and it's extreme, and it's not. So it's just like I could tell by people whoever hate Tate. I guarantee you they've never watched an hour of anything that he's done. I guarantee you, 60 minutes. They don't have enough attention span for that. They too cooked. They brain. They don't got attention span for that. I'm trying to get to the next. I'm trying to get into the next thing so I could cut off, bro. They take it forever to get to the next point, bro. I'm gonna just skip to it. I ain't gonna lie. I'll just skip to the next one. Let's get to the next one. And I'm gonna watch one person talk about that, and then yeah. Let's do it.
Count doesn't matter.
A woman's body count doesn't matter. Well, first of all, men deserve to have preference. That's first. So if a guy doesn't want a girl who's, slept with every jock in school, I mean, that's his preference. He don't have to want that. You feel me? Like, we have the definition of preference is to discriminate. If you're saying I prefer this, you're saying I don't prefer that. So it's a preference thing. You feel me? So you can't shit on dudes. Now the way you go about it, express your preference, it could be, adjusted, but having a preference in itself is not bad as long as you can meet that preference, or at least in the ballpark of meeting that preference, right? In my opinion, you feel me? So I think first off, a guy has the right to say if a girl slept with every jock or every rapper, I cannot want her. That he has the right to say. He has the right to discriminate, just like a woman has the right to discriminate if his cheeks too chunky or his shoes too dirty. Like, he has a right. I mean, I would argue if a dude's a great man, that's a dumb reason to reject him. But guess what? They don't care. So it's just like, I agree with that. But other than that, I mean, y'all had nothing to do with me, to be honest. Like, her body count, I mean, it just maybe can show like that, a lot of people have conquered her. And I do know it's statistically proven that the more people you sexually engage with, because sex is a bonding tool, so the more people you've had that bonding experience with, the less the less effective it is to bond. So basically, it's like a tape. Like Myra used an example of a tape, where it's like if you put tape on something the first time, it's hella sticky. You take it off, put it back on the second time, it's still kind of sticky. Third time, less sticky, maybe a little bit more sticky. Fourth time, fifth time, now it's less bonding. Basically saying that the more body count a woman has, the less that sex with her is going to connect her to you more, because she's had that chemical or that part of her been spammed so many times, so to say, for lack of better words. So that's just my opinion on it.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so personally, I do feel like a woman's body count does matter.
Why is that?
Because it's her value. I feel like if something's used, there's no value to it. It's just, I don't want to like be mean, but
I ain't gonna lie. No, we just gonna stop it right here. Shout out y'all, man. Y'all can go watch this Jubilee. Shout out them. Shout out Jubilee. I watch a lot of their videos. You know, they usually be long, so you know, go show them some love. You know, and that's it for this video, man. So like, comment, subscribe. Give me some feedback in the comments. Give me some recommendations which y'all want me to watch. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna come with more content, and yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. So shout out. We out. AP Reacts.